The story of Grizzly Adams is big and powerful and beautiful. They call me Mad Jack. And me and my burro number 7 been traipsing these slopes and valleys for a long spell, so I know the story from the beginning. My friend Adams was accused of a crime he didn't commit, so he escaped into the mountains, leaving behind the only life that he ever knew. Now that wilderness out there ain't no place for a greenhorn, and his chances of surviving were mighty slim. Weren't no time at all for he was beaten down, ragged, and nearly starved. Long about then, he come upon a grizzly bear cub, all alone and helpless. Now, Adams knew that little critter couldn't survive without his help, so he started right down that cliff, risking his own life to save it. Now, that cub took to Adams right off. And that was when he discovered he had a special kind of way with animals. They just come right up to him like he was a natural part of the wilderness. But that bear cub, he was extra special. As he growed, he became the best friend Adams ever had, and together they became a legend.
There's a world where we don't have to run, and maybe there's a time we'll call our own, living free in harmony and majesty. Take me home, take me home, take me home, take me home.
The mountainside, when fall's ready to set in, looks as peaceful and inviting as a prize cake at a church social. Even before the colors begin to turn on the leaves, us mountain men and our critter friends know what's a-coming. Snow's gonna cover everything in sight. And if you want to eat, you better stock up for it. But if you got wings, you can fly south where the food is. We all prepare in our own way. Some by fixing up the old homestead. Some by getting the young'uns ready. Others are busy building a winter home. The little fellows could smell winter on its way. My friend James Adams was laying in a supply of firewood for those long, cold winter nights that he knew was a-coming. Ben knew his heavy coat of fur would do him just fine, but he still pitched in to help Adams. Since it appeared a hard winter was a-coming, I went up to make sure that the greenhorn was preparing for it, well, proper-like.
Morning, Adams. Morning, Jack. Well, you're just in time. You can help me load that travel horse up, and we'll have 7 pull it back to the cabin.
I can? The way Ben was a-chomping that wood, you'd think he had beaver blood in him. And he sure could work like one if he had a mind to. Naturally, I wasn't about to slow him down none.
How's it coming, Jack?
Oh, just fine, just fine. You keep it chopping, and I'll keep it loading.
We'll get some more, Ben.
I brought a whole sack of fresh flour. How about let's make us some flapjacks?
Just keep loading.
Well, you have to have been chopping wood all morning. Well, ain't you hungry?
I'm starving, but just keep loading. I can wait.
Got fresh flour.
It seems I wasn't the only one with food on his mind. Out there wandering in the wilderness was a couple of young'uns, and they was powerful hungry. They was new to the woods, and every sight and sound was a surprise. Some was downright scary. That coyote was about as eye-popping surprised to see them young'uns as they was to see him. But they meant him no harm, so he went about his business. The young'uns found a few berries, but they weren't going to go far.
You're not sorry we ran away from the orphanage, are you?
No, Eugene. We agreed to go out in the wilderness and have us exciting adventures. Just like in the book.
But it's not turning out the way we expected.
But we just started.
How can you tell?
All books have a happy ending. We'll find ours.
Well, all right.
Are you done already?
Sure, what do you think? I've been standing around with my hands in my pockets.
Oh, you did real good.
Us mountain men don't do things by halves.
Well, I'm ready to eat.
Flapjacks?
Sure.
I'll get the flour.
Number 7, we's gonna have flapjacks. I need the flour, and then we need the starch. Cut, Sergeant, you number 7. Now look what you done.
Jack, you better go down the creek and wash off.
What for?
Well, you don't have to wash your face, but at least wash off what's on it.
As long as you put it that way. Look at that, just one batch of flapjacks left. Because they didn't know where to look, them young greenhorns kept passing up the victuals Mother Nature had set out for them. Then their luck changed.
Let's follow it. Why?
Remember how we got the berries last time? We saw the little animal eating them, so we knew they were safe. That's what the book said to do.
Yeah.
And if we follow it, well, you know what they say about rabbits' feet being lucky?
He can lead us to more food.
Now, most folks know us mountain men don't take much to washing or bathing. Leastways when company's around doing the same thing. Well, would you look at that, number 7? Howdy. He run off like he was spooked or something. Oh, hello there, young feller. What's going on here? When the young'uns saw me, they just naturally took me for a ghost. Where in the world did you young'uns come from?
Let's get out of here. Come on, Eugene.
Now, just hold on there. Hold on. Ow! No, wait a minute. Wait. Oh, get off. Let go down there. Wait, look out.
Come on, Ben.
Wait. Ooh, my knee. Ooh. Now. Hold it, Missy.
Don't you move. Just one whisker.
I'm not moving. That's the wind blowing my whiskers. I'm not moving.
You wouldn't consider putting that rock down before it gets too heavy, would you?
That rock was a weighing down little missy, making me mighty nervous. Adams and Ben, they took it in stride, but that young boy weren't about to give up. The way the boy held that rifle appeared to me he meant business. Adams, he just stayed calm and easy.
Easy now. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Easy now, son.
Don't you hurt my brother. Gene, get away! Eugene, run!
Now wait here. Now.
Let me go!
Wait.
Eugene,
Let me go!
just take it easy. Nobody's gonna hurt you or your sister.
You heard Adams. Just simmer down. Just simmer down. There. It's all right.
What's your name?
Her name's Michelle.
Ben? I'd like you to say hi to Eugene and Michelle.
Is he a tame grizzly bear?
Well, I wouldn't say he's exactly tame, but he's a good friend of ours. Jack, I think Eugene and Michelle know we mean him no harm. My name's Adams. And this fearful-looking ghost here, this is my friend Mad Jack. And that's his better half over there. That's number 7.
Can we pet him?
Ben, would you mind if Eugene petted you? I think he'd like that. But walk real slow.
Okay. Hi, Ben. How you doing?
He's so soft.
How long have you two been out here in the woods?
Not long.
Long enough that your folks know you're missing?
Don't have any.
We're orphans.
Well, Jack and I were just headed back to the cabin for a nice big stack of hotcakes. You're more than welcome to join us if you'd like.
We can take care of ourselves.
Suit yourselves. But I make the best honey and wild strawberry syrup in all these mountains. Come on, Adams.
I think we'd be pleased to accept your invitation.
Does he always look like that?
Joshua, wait your turn. Dan and Mary Lou are here first.
I'll feed him. Come here.
Haven't you been fed, number 7?
Well, of course he's been fed. Number 7, don't you remember any of the manners I taught you? Come on, you ill-mannered old slack-jawed bag of bones.
Come and get them. The cakes are done.
Boy, I'm starving to death.
Me too.
Now you stay put, number 7, you hear?
Thank you.
Here.
Some coffee, Jack?
Yep. Them smell good, Adams.
Yeah.
How about some more flapjacks?
No, thank you. They were good, Mr. Adams. My mother made them just like that.
What happened to your folks?
They died of the cholera while we were heading for the Oregon Trail in a covered wagon.
We were kind of little, so we were put in the orphan asylum at the settlement.
And you ran away.
Not exactly. We left Mr. Watts a note,
Now, who's Mr. Watts?
the superintendent.
He's a nice man, but
He's got a strict rule. No pets. And Gene and I just love animals.
all I want is a puppy, like my friend Joey Norton, who lives down the way from the orphanage.
So that's why you ran away.
Well, not exactly. There's more to it. You see, we read this book. It's called A Lad in the Wilderness.
Michelle read it to me. It's just wonderful.
It tells how to go into the woods and have adventures and capture wild animals.
And how do you do that?
Well, to capture a wild mountain lion, all you gotta do is lasso it.
Yes, just like cowboys catch little cows.
Who wrote that book anyway?
Ferdinand Coldwell.
Where's he from?
He's a librarian from New Jersey.
New Jersey? I bet he ain't never been west of the Delaware. If you two want to learn about the critters of the wilderness, why, Adam's there. He knows all there is to know about them. Why, once he...
Mr. Adams, would you help us capture a grizzly like Ben?
I didn't capture Ben. I found Ben when he was just a cub. He and I became real good friends.
Well, then maybe you'll get us a bear cub. We'll be friends to it. Awful good friends.
Well, how about if we talk about this in the morning? You've both had a real big day, and I know you could probably use some sleep.
We are tired. First, we'll do the dishes. It's the least we can do.
Well, you're both my guests, and I'll do that. You both can sleep in the cabin tonight.
Well, what about yourself, Mr. Adams?
Well, Jack and I are used to sleeping outside.
Well, good night, and thank you for the supper. It was real fine.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, Mr. Adams.
That night, it sure felt like winter had come early. Adams, being used to the cabin, could feel the cold coming through from the ground. Even Ben felt the chill. So he did what comes naturally. While we was still sleeping early the next morning, Ben was up and about heading for a walk in the woods. Ben liked the quietness of the morning. Sometimes it was so quiet he felt like he was the only critter alive. Of course, he knew he wasn't, but he sure was the loudest. Every critter had its own way of greeting the day and saying howdy to their families and any friends that might be passing by. The one thing we never thought of doing, though, was taking a bath. I never did understand how that bear or anybody could get up in the morning and do a thing like that. You know, I once heard a preacher reading from the good book about how there's a time for singing and a time for crying, a time for working and a time for playing. But let me tell you, that preacher never once said there was a time for taking a bath. Naturally, there's some critters belong in the water, and I ain't including them. Watching that otter getting his breakfast minded Ben it was time to head for the cabin. After that walk in the woods, he was getting mighty hungry and was hoping I'd cooked up a mess of my tasty flapjacks. Not that I wasn't aiming to. Just so happened I didn't get the chance. Morning.
Good morning, Jack.
How'd you sleep?
Just great. Just great.
Yeah. No coffee. Well, you're locked out of your own cabin.
They're probably just afraid that the animals were gonna come last night.
Wait a minute. Smell that? That there is victuals. Now, what are we supposed to eat? Mud and swamp water?
Good morning, Mr. Jack. Mr. Adams.
Good morning.
Ready for breakfast?
At the table? Of course. Ben's part of the family. Aren't you, Ben?
Can I help you with that, Missy?
Oh, certainly.
Eugene,
Yes?
I think Ben's trying to tell us something.
Dear Lord, we thank thee for all thy bountiful blessings. Amen.
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 All right.
Thank you. Michelle, these are mighty fine fixings. Would you pass the honey, Eugene? Ben, how would you like one of Michelle's good biscuits with some honey on it? Huh? Ben, you don't mind being the old maid, do you?
Miss Michelle, without a doubt, that was the finest breakfast I've had since I've hit these mountains.
Thank you.
Now, don't you think we should discuss what to do with you and Eugene?
I'll wash the dishes.
Oh, look, a little deer.
Eugene,
Yes?
don't wander off too far from the cabin.
I won't, Mr. Adams. Don't run away, little fella.
When Eugene seen that deer, he wanted more than anything to put a leash around that critter and take it home for a pet.
Jack, I want you to do me a favor.
What's that?
I want you to stop by Nokoma's camp and tell someone to go down to Mr. Watts's. Tell him the kids are safe and I'm keeping an eye on them.
You fold this up for me, will you? Why don't we just cart them back?
Because they just run away again. Something's stirring up inside those two children. They got to work it out. They got to decide themselves to go back.
Yeah, I think you're making a big mistake. Nursemaid and a couple of young'uns. You're gonna have a headache as big as a mountain. But I will stop by and tell Nokoma's people that you got them up here and you're taking care of them. But I'm coming right back, because you're gonna need my help.
Thank you, Jack.
Don't run away.
Well, let's go, Seven. Well, now, come on, you contrary, knock-kneed varmint. Move your worthless hide now.
Well, I better go find that deer.
Bye, Missy.
Bye.
Eugene? Eugene?
Mr. Adams?
Don't worry, he can't be far. Ben, come on.
How do you know he went this way?
Because he didn't go that way, the grass isn't pressed down. Except where you're standing. Eugene's following a deer. There's the deer's tracks. And here are Eugene's. They go on off that way.
Eugene went wandering off just like Adams told him not to do. He followed that little deer. He wanted a little pet animal critter, and there were lots around, but he had his heart set on that deer.
Here, little deer. Look what I got for you. some nice juicy berries. Don't run, little dear. The berries are good, honest.
That deer wasn't used to young'uns, and before he knew it, Eugene had spooked the little thing. Eugene followed and
Now,
found
don't
him
worry,
down by the
dear.
stream.
I ain't gonna hurt you.
Then he heard what sounded to him like a little puppy and went down to see what it was.
Hi, little puppy. Come here, little puppy.
He found the little pup all right, but he also found something else he wasn't expecting. Ben led the search with his educated nose, and Adam and Michele wasn't far behind. Little Eugene, he figured it was up to him to protect the little pup from the wolves, not knowing the pup was a wolf herself. His mama wanted her pup back, and no maybes about it.
Mr. Adams! Mr. Jack! Save me! Somebody save me!
Hang on, Eugene. I'm coming as quick as I can. They aren't gonna hurt him, Eugene. This is a little wolf puppy. That's his family down there. They just want this pup back. You stay right there. Here, Mama. Here's your puppy. Safe and sound. I'm sorry if my little friend caused you trouble, but I give you my word it won't happen again. I promise.
Well, that wolf pup was sure glad to be back with his mama. And that wolf mama, like most mamas, didn't scold him too hard for wandering away.
Let's go, Eugene.
All right. Eugene! Eugene, come here. We're awful sorry, Mr. Adams. I only wanted a puppy. I didn't know he was a real baby wolf.
I know you didn't, Eugene, and that's all right. I reckon up to now you thought all the animals out here as friendly as old Ben and Joshua, Mary Lou and Dano, but they aren't. You remember what I told you about how animals act when you bother their young?
I thought he was lost and needed a friend, like Ben needed you when he was little.
Well, Ben's different. Now, most animals out here, they got a family, like that little wolf pup. When his family knew he was lost, well, they all came out looking for him. They wanted him back because he belongs to them.
I wish we belonged to somebody.
Well, you belong to each other, and you got Ben and me. Hi, Jack. I didn't expect to see you till tomorrow.
Well, I run into Nakoma. He was camped up on Long Ridge on his way into the settlement, so he said he'd give Mr. Watts your message.
Good.
Adams, why don't you just send them two back where they belong? They're going to have to go sooner or later anyway.
I've been thinking about it.
Well, now, if I was you, I'd just load them two on old number 7 here and take them back first thing in the morning. You save yourself a whole lot of trouble.
Well, I'd like to see him go back, but I'd like to see him go back on their own free will.
How are you going to manage that?
Well, I got an idea.
You know what you're doing.
The next morning, bright and early, Michele and Eugene snuck out, leaving a note behind, because she had heard me talking about sending her and Eugene back to the orphanage and figured they well, that they weren't wanted there. Ben tried to wake Adams up, but Adams always sleeps like a dead log.
Mr. Adams is gonna be mad.
Gene, we had to go. Don't you see? He's gonna take us back to the orphanage.
We'll never be able to play with Ben or the other animals again. I wish I had a friend like Ben.
We'll find one.
Oh. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Jack.
Yeah, morning. It's gonna be another one of them nice days.
Ben thinks so, too.
What's this? Yeah, you ain't gonna like this. I told you so. I told you you should have taken them young'uns back yesterday morning, but you wouldn't listen to me. Now look what's happened.
We gotta find them as fast as we can. That's the important thing, Jack.
Them poor homeless young'uns, on their own again, were hankering for a friend. Just any kind of a friend.
Michelle, look at the poor little lost burro. Suppose he's Seven's baby?
Well, I don't know if Seven is a man or a lady.
Well, just in case it is Seven's, we better take good care of him. I bet he's hungry. I guess we gotta pet at last. Golly.
Remember the wolf pup? This baby may belong to Seven.
But if he doesn't, he could belong to us. Like Seven belongs to Mr. Jack.
Well, maybe.
Now we gotta figure out a name, like Seven. How about one?
So little. One half would be better.
Okay. Come on, one half, you sweet little bag of bones, you. Get moving.
The young'uns couldn't believe their luck. At last they had a pet of their own. It seemed to be love at first sight. Knowing what happened the day before with the wolves, Adams and me was powerful worried as to what new trouble those young greenhorns might fall into next. I ain't seen number 7 move so fast. They must be a wild apple tree up yonder.
No, Jack, I think old Seven caught scent of some kind of an animal.
What kind, you reckon?
I don't know.
Well, looks like there's been a deer through here.
Those look like baby burro tracks. And they're following the kids.
Following or chasing? If it's a baby burro, those young'uns don't stand a chance.
Now, what can a baby burro do?
What can a baby burro? They're mean as bear cats and twice as nasty. Well, one time Jedediah Smith and me went out to capture with our Ben. You know, it ain't easy capturing them wild burros unless you got years of experience. Well, I remember one time down at Fort Atkinson, old Colonel Johnson and me, we was going out to capture this burro.
Look, Eugene. A cave. I always wanted to live in a cave.
You watch one half, and I'll check and see if this cave is safe. The book says that bats live in caves like this.
To a young'un, with Michelle's imagination, exploring that cave was a new kind of adventure, like looking for buried treasure or a lost gold mine. And when she came upon that old chest, it were like all her fancy dreams had come true. She wondered what kind of magic would be in that there box.
Eugene, look! What is it? Buried treasure? Maybe it was left here by pirates.
I don't think so, Eugene. Pirates are only by the ocean. There's no ocean around here. Look, a sack of flour, a sack of sugar, hardtack, molasses, dried fruit, pots, pans, and matches. I'm gonna fix us something to eat, Gene. You start the fire.
Okay. What do you want, you flea-bitten, lop-eared bag of bones?
Eugene, look.
It were number 7 that led us to the lost young'uns.
What in tarnation are you kids
Hang
up
on,
to?
Jack. Michelle? Jack and I got your note.
How come you to get into that chest?
I found it in the cave.
What gives you the right to mess around with other folks' stuff?
Does it belong to somebody?
Well, of course it does. It belongs to my friend, Hard Rock Harry. He's a prospector. And he comes by here and picks up goods once in a while, and I come by and fill it up for him.
Well, I didn't see any sign on it.
Well, they don't have to be, not in this country. It belongs to him. Nobody'll touch it. Now, what if he was to come by here this winter all cold and hungry and there was no goods for him?
I'm sorry. Gene and I have caused enough trouble, so we'll just say goodbye.
No, it's not going to be goodbye now. I'll see you back to the orphanage.
No, thank you.
Look out. Everybody freeze. Don't nobody move a muscle. I'll protect us from this wild critter.
He's not wild. We found him. He's ours.
Can we keep him, Mr. Adams? He doesn't have a family.
Well, he could be an orphan. All the other burros went south.
That means one half's ours.
What'd you call him?
1/2. When he gets bigger, we'll call him 1. Mr. Adams, look. It's a little raccoon. He's in trouble. Stay right where you are. I'm coming to get you.
Michelle, no!
Help me, Mr. Adams.
Stay right there. Don't move. Are you all right?
Uh-huh.
You stay right here. Come here, little fella. That's it. Give me your arm. Be careful.
Is he gonna be all right?
Well, the little guy's pretty shook up. I think he sprained his leg. Put a little time and tender care will take care of that. How'd you like to take care of him?
Mr. Adams, if it turns out he doesn't have a family, can I keep him?
Well, we'll talk about it. You'd have to build a shelter, maybe even a lean-to.
We'll do anything you say.
Anything.
Watch your step going down there.
Them two build a lean-to? It's an awful lot of work.
I guess I forgot.
My friend Adams knew them greenhorns wouldn't listen to us. They'd have to learn for themselves that living in the wilderness wasn't as easy as they thought it was.
Keep them nice and straight, Eugene. That's it. All right, now that you have all the support poles up, you start loading these pine boughs on. Stack them on top of one another. It'll help keep the rain out. And when you finish this lean-to, I want you to start on the cabin.
Do we have to? I'm tired.
You're gonna need that shelter. It gets pretty cold up here. You're gonna need it when you're out there chopping down trees and clearing the land of all the rocks and stones.
And for blankets, maybe you can do like the Indian women do.
Well, how long does it take to make a blanket?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months. What do you think, Adam?
But yeah, at least 2-3 months.
That is if you work hard at it.
Things don't come easy out here in the mountains. I see you both got the spirit, but now you need the strength to work from sun up to sundown. That's it. Keep putting them pine boughs on there.
It's Mr. Watts. Run, Eugene, run!
Don't run, Eugene. Michelle, come here. It's all right. You weren't gonna run off, were you? You got two little animals depending on you to take care of them.
But Mr. Watts won't let us have pets.
Hello, Michelle. Eugene, you building this lean-to? Doing a good job. Mr. Adams?
Mr. Watson?
Mighty nice of you to be taking care of Michelle and Eugene.
Mr. Watts, I'd like you to meet my good friend, Jack.
Howdy, Mr. Watts.
He seems
Heard a
like a
lot
nice
about
enough
you.
man. You finished doing the lattice work. Jack, show the children how to do the lattice work.
Oh, sure.
Come on over here, Mr. Watts.
I left as soon as I got your message. No need to tell you how worried I was.
Well, like I promised, I said I'd keep an eye on the children. I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. You know why they came out here, don't you?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I see they found what they were looking for.
Mr. Watts, you ever hold a raccoon?
No?
Just pet his fur. Relax, he won't hurt you.
Well, don't just stand there with your hands in your pockets. Did you forget what you're here for?
No, Mr. Jack.
Well, get the lattice work done. Remember now, over and under, over and under. And, when you get that through, you can go down to the creek there and bring up some rocks for your fire pit.
Tell me, sir, do you have a yard at the orphanage?
Oh, a splendid one. We got trees and swings and seesaws.
Oh, that's great. Then you'd probably have some room for a couple animals, like Junior and one half?
Once he grows up, he'll be a big help around the school. And my number 7 here is one of the kindest, hardest workingest critters you ever want to see in your life.
Tell me, Mr. Watts, this rule you have at the orphanage about the children not having any animals, was that made by the law or was it made by you?
I made it. I make all the rules at the orphanage.
I bet you keep those children right up to snuff.
Oh, of course. You know, discipline is most important in teaching children.
Then I think a strong man like you would be able to keep a few animals peaceable and quiet. After all, they're a lot like children.
I guess I could.
Well, I'm gonna go tell Michelle and Eugene the good news. Come on, Jack.
You know, they think they've sweet-talked me into something against my will. So you won't tell them I've already talked myself into it.
I'm so happy. Thank you, Mr. Adams. Mr. Jack, thank you.
I can't wait to show one half to the other kids. I'll give them all a ride.
And I'll share Junior, too. I promise. How can we ever repay you?
You want to do something for us?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I want you both to start thinking that you belong to somebody. I don't think you really know how much Mr. Watts cares for you. You know, a real father couldn't have come any quicker. And you know he's changing the rules at the orphanage about animals for you. Now, that's caring.
Well, I guess we never realized.
It's kind of like reading a book. It takes understanding, and you need a teacher to show you the way. Just like I needed Jack when I first came out here.
And Ben needed you.
That's right.
Come on, Gene.
Thank you, Mr. Watts.
Well, I think it's time to get going.
All right. Come on, you contrary, outbeater, knock-kneed varmint. Move your worthless hide.
Where did you ever learn language like that?
Well, it beats me. He couldn't have learned it around here any place. Ain't that right, number 7, you sweet thing?
Deep inside the forest is a door into another land. Here is our life and home. We are staying here forever in the beauty of this place all alone. We keep on hoping maybe there's a world where we don't have to run. Maybe there's a time we'll call